Jude Bellingham is back. Jude Bellingham is back in the Real Madrid squad and going to be available to Xabi Alonso in the game against Marseille at the Santiago Bernabeu in Real Madrid's opening game of the Champions League this season. How does that make any sense? How does that make any sense? How is he back already? Like, don't get me wrong, I am happy. I am so happy. I absolutely love Jude. He is such a baller. He contributes so much to our team, both offensively and defensively. Whether we need help or cover on the flank, whether we need support or pressure in the middle, or whether we need overlapping runs or a killer final pass in the final third, Jude Bellingham is there and he does it all. He is the most complete. He's probably, maybe not actually, but probably one of the most complete midfielders, not only in the team, but in the world. The only other player in the team that I can think comes as close to Jude Bellingham in terms of how complete he is on both sides of the game and how complete he is in how he can do everything is Fede Valverde. That is the only player. Everyone else, they have certain deficiencies in their game or certain things that aren't quite putting them at the same level as these two in terms of how complete they are as players and as midfielders. Like, Arda's lacking defensively, Huijsen lacking offensively, Camavinga just can't stay on the pitch for 5 minutes, and we're not even going to talk about Dani Ceballos. Let's just put him to the side. But Jude Bellingham is back, and he's not alone. Eduardo Camavinga is also back. Camavinga is back, which I was expecting a little more of. I was expecting Camavinga to be back. Now, there were reports before the squad list was put out that they were looking to get him back for the next La Liga game. But he's come back a few days earlier, and he's already in the squad list for the Champions League game. I didn't see this happening. I really did not. Not Camavinga coming back. I didn't see Jude and Camavinga coming back. I thought if anyone is coming back to the Real Madrid squad, it's going to be Camavinga and Endrick. Those are the next two players of all our injured players that are going to be arriving back into the fold and available to Xabi Alonso. But somehow, and it's actually, maybe it's not even somehow, because I've been seeing so many reports that Jude Bellingham is spending hours upon hours at Valdebebas training and preparing and fixing up to be able to arrive back into the fold a lot sooner, to be able to come back a lot quicker. The guy's apparently been spending 8, 9, 10 hours at Valdebebas just training and working out and building himself up. And to be honest, I have no clue what he's doing for 9 to 10 hours. I generally have no clue. But that's the reports that are coming out. He has put in a lot of effort to come back a lot sooner than was originally scheduled. Because this guy had his surgery on the 16th of July. The 16th of July. He was supposed to be out for 3 to 4 months and he was supposed to arrive at some point in October. I was personally starting to think a little bit he wouldn't be back until the international break. I thought Jude would start only getting back into the fold after the international break. Whether he went away during the international break with England, I don't know. But I thought during the international break, he's either going to go away with England or he's going to use that week or 2 weeks for a little bit of pre-season, and then when the team returns after the international break, that's when he'll get back into the fold and fully be available. But no, my man is back in 2 months. He is literally back in under 2 months, actually, because he was gone on the 16th. He's back on the 15th. He's been back in less than 2 months. It's ridiculous. It's actually ridiculous. I hope, and I don't think this is the case, but I do really hope we are not rushing him back. Because let's clarify first. Jude isn't going to be starting. He's definitely 100% with absolute certainty not going to be starting. But he might not even get that long on the pitch. He might at most get 5-10 minutes. That's all he might get. 5 or 10 minutes. Or it might be one of the cases where let's just bring him back into the fold. He's not going to play, but let's just get him back into the matchday squad. Because that's also a preparation and a psychological thing that players you need and you need to go through, right? So maybe it's also a case of let's just get him back into the matchday squad and he's not going to get any minutes and he might get those 5-10 minutes in the next game in La Liga against whoever we have. I don't even know who we're playing this upcoming weekend. But that could also be a factor. I think in terms of time on the pitch, Camavinga will get more minutes than Jude. I do believe that. I think we might see Camavinga in the 75th, maybe 70th, maybe 80th minute. Jude, if he plays, and that's a big if, I don't think we'll see him until 80, 85 minutes. Like, I don't think we will. Now, I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong because I don't know how far he's progressed. I don't know how good his shoulder is. I can only judge based on the fact that he's been put into the squad, right? But that's the thing. Human error does occur, and when you're Real Madrid and you have a history of certain situations. Now, history may be kind of pushing it, but I'm just thinking back to a season or two ago where Vinny done his hamstring and he was down and he was holding his hamstring. And when you do your hamstring, you're out. If you feel a little nick or a little twinge or a little sharp little pin in your hamstring, that means your hamstring is going. You need to stop moving and get down or get off that pitch. That's what happened to Vinny. And he went down. And the medical staff came on the pitch. And they took Vinny off the pitch. And they somehow deemed Vinny fit to get back onto the pitch. The guy got back onto the pitch after doing his hamstring. And then to nobody, absolutely no one's surprise, 2 to 3 minutes later, he was down again. And then he was out for like a month or two. Because he'd done his hamstring and they told him to get back onto the pitch. Now, like I said, saying that we have a history of this stuff is kind of pushing it. We do have a history of a lot of injuries. That's for definite. But saying we have a history of misjudging injuries, that's a bit like, that's not true. That's not true at all. It's just that one instance came into my head. But it doesn't change the fact that it did happen. And nothing is saying it can't happen again. Now, I don't think it will happen again. There is no way, I believe, that they are risking Jude Bellingham in any way if his shoulder isn't 100% and if he isn't fully ready to be playing competitive football at the highest level. So I think we're good on all that. But once again, I cannot believe that Jude is back. I genuinely cannot believe that. And I am so excited because our midfield all of a sudden is stacked. It is fully stacked. You got Arda Guler finally showcasing the talent that all Madridistas knew he had. Everybody who watched Real Madrid knew this guy had this in him. It's just whether it was Carlo Ancelotti, whether it was the system, whether it was his positioning on the pitch, it never quite really worked. Carlo always used to say about Arda Guler, he needs to be in and around the goal. He needs to be in and around the goal because his finishing and his final little pass or whatever is amazing and he needs to be as close to the goal as possible. Xabi Alonso just said no, he just needs to be as close to the football as possible, and I need to put him in a position where he can get the football the most. And that's where he found his position in central midfield, and he has been killing it ever since. Tchouaméni, likewise, is having the season of his life so far. He's been playing phenomenally at CDM. And Fede Valverde, this guy is Mr. Consistent. He's been doing his thing from day. He's been doing it from the moment he got into the first team. His level has never gone up. It's gone up. It's just never gone down. It's always had a peak. And it's always kind of stayed at that peak. And then sometimes it's just gone above that peak. So with those three already playing amazingly, now we have Jude Bellingham and Eduardo Camavinga coming in, which doesn't necessarily mean they're going to take their places. I think we've already I spoke about this in another video. Jude's going to be taking the right winger's position. Fede's going to be moved to right wing and Jude's going to be slotted into the midfield. And it's going to be a 4-3-3 with Fede out wide next to Mbappe with Arda, Guler, Tchouaméni and Bellingham in the middle. The only thing is now we have an opportunity to rest players. Jude can be rested for other players. Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Fede, Arda Guler, they can all be rested. Now the season's only started. They don't need rest right now. And the games aren't really... We're not in the thick of games every 3 days. We're kind of still in the little... getting into the games every 3 days. Till now, we've only had a game every week. Now we're starting to get into the game every 3 days. Because we had one the other day. We got one tomorrow. We got another one on the weekend. Then we got another one during midweek. And then another one on the weekend. So there's 3-4 day gap games are arriving. And players are going to need to rest. Levels are going to drop. Fatigue is going to kick in. So it is fantastic to have them both back. They will be incorporated in slowly. That is for sure. But it's just great to have those options available. Because both Bellingham and Camavinga are ballers. But anyway, I am going to call the video there. I am very excited for tomorrow's Champions League game at the Bernabeu against Marseille. Thanks for watching and peace.